Gotcha. Surprise, huh? Yes, I jumped right in because I have to read them all. I want to do them all, and not do it again on Sunday because you might forget, you might not connect it. So I want to have it all fresh in one reading, okay? And it gave me a chance to have a little more wine. Okay, so we're gonna jump right back in, and we are gonna talk about the continuing, right? Then it says, yeah, and another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer, and there was given unto him much incense, that he, where are we? I know I had it. I had what? It's so transparent that I lose sight of it. I lost sight of it now. All right. Having a golden censer, and it burns incense, giving unto him much incense, that he should offer it with the prayers of all the saints upon the earth, of all the saints upon the golden altar which was before the throne. And the smoke of the incense, which come with the prayers of the saints, ascended up before God out of the angel's hands. And the angel took the censer, that's where the incense is burning, and filled it with the fire of the altar, and cast it into the earth. And there were voices and thunderings and lightnings and a great earthquake. So this was a direct assault against the earth. Here are the prayers and the incense of the prayers of those who are anointing and worshiping the Most High. And the angel is like the spokesperson for these people. And it's like he represents like humanity. Okay? He's the ambassador of humanity because these are all the people of all languages, all races, all kindred spirits, everything, all of them. And then incense is burned, and the angel takes it and mixes it with the fire of the throne and then throws it onto the earth. Now, understand that censer with the incense mingled with fire, that's to cause pain to humanity. Because that censer in the prior verse is representing all of humanity. So this was a direct assault against humanity. That explains the earthquake. Now the earth shook. So it's like the offerings were not accepted. Corruption, and this is my guess, not my interpretation, it's my guess. I'm not quite sure why this act was done against humanity. But if you read and break it down, that censer with the incense, you're offering your prayers and your petitions to God through it with the incense and the prayers. Now comes this angel and takes it. Who mixes incense with fire? It's already burning. And it's a nice burn. You mix it with fire, like with chocolate, it distorts the incense. It smells terrible. So here it was mingled with the fire of the throne, and then it was hurled to the earth. Like, this is what I think about your prayers. This is what I think about you as a human species as a whole. And then through it. That's what that's kind of like implying. So it's kind of like somebody up there is getting fed up with our shit. And so fuck this shit. Now, man, I ain't gonna go enough for these humans. Look what they've done. Look what they're doing. They're so selfish. They don't even care about the other kingdoms. Just about them. They cut down all the trees, deforestation. They kill all our birds. They kill all our fish. They hunt. And now we got species that are endangered species. These fucking humans. Fuck that niggas, man. Throw that shit down there. That's what it feels like to me. I know. You give me an interpretation. These are the things that I would like you guys to think. I don't want you to think that I'm putting these thoughts in your head. I don't know. but I have sufficient education, and I hope that that helps you maybe come closer to the truth of what this verse actually means. But you guys might have a better idea than I do. But it feels like to me that the prayers of humanity were rejected and thrown back in our face. We see this with the book of Enoch and the archons, in which Azazel, someone wrote that his name down, was one of the chief archons and was begging Enoch to go to the Most High so that they can be forgiven. And Enoch was like, you should be forgiving what you've done to humans. You fucked up humans. And now you're scared because of what God might do to you. You should have more compassion about what you did to humans. No, so everybody's going to Enoch, pleading to Enoch to do a petition on his behalf. This feels like that type of petition. And it was rejected. Just like Enoch rejected the petitions of the archons and Azazel, because they were going to be destroyed and casted forever for what they've done to humanity. And they wanted Enoch to liberate them, to spare them. But they didn't do that for humanity. So we see these parallels here. This, I think, was a corruption. I don't think this actually occurred against humanity. I think it occurred against the archon that corrupted humanity. So this is the situation here. Look, that can be done in another series. That's something that to be done in another series. Ooh. So understand that there was a rejection here of the petition for this angel who acted as the ambassador for humanity. For us to obtain some kind of mercy from this God. So, verse 6 goes on saying, and the seven angels which had the seven trumpets prepared themselves to sound. Oh, baby. What is that about? So, okay. I know the Bible, they jump right in. They jump right in. It says here in verse 7, and the first angel sounded, and they were followed. It's amazing how this works. You know, the devil is really something. And there followed hail and fire mingled with blood. Hail and fire mingled with blood. Now, that's like an allegorical. When you got fire, and hail, and it's falling, and it looks like specks of red shit falling, but because it's fire, and that's blood. That's a symbol, I'm thinking, for the blood. And they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of trees was burnt up, and all green grass was burnt up. So here it gives you a fraction. So hail and fire fell from the heavens, and 1/3 of the trees were burnt up, and all green grass was burnt. To me, this feels like a meteor. A meteor comes into our atmosphere, and once it penetrates our atmosphere, it breaks apart and starts to fall down on the earth, and it looks like hail. And it burns 1/3 of the trees and all the grass. So this means that it falls in a particular location. And it burns all the trees in that location. Or 1/3 of it. But it burns all the grass. So the ground is scorched. And 1/3 of the trees. The Bible makes it important to let you know that 1/3 of the trees are burned. So this is a localized event that occurs. And that's the beginning of the next series of events that then begin to occur. We go with verse 8, chapter 8, and it says, "And the second angel sounded, and as it were a great mountain burning with fire was cast unto the sea, and the third part of the sea became blood." Now, of course, they're talking about lava and magma. So this mountain that goes into the sea, it could be Mount St. Helens. It could be one of our mountains that sits in DC, in Seattle, or in all other parts of the world that is edged to the ocean, that when it implodes, it falls into the sea. We know this through volcanology. So obviously, there's an eruption, a volcanic eruption from one of our sleeping giants, finally emerges. And that makes sense, because if there's a great earthquake from the prior seal and trumpet that was sounded, that's going to cause a ricochet effect and cause volcanic eruptions, because now the pressure of the earth has been released through this earthquake. The larger the earthquake, the bigger the potential for our volcanoes to begin to erupt, because it's a trigger. It triggers an effect. It's a ricochet effect. So now our volcanoes that have been slumber for thousands or hundreds of thousands of years, through a very big earthquake, will shake that bitch up, wake that bitch up. It makes sense. Talk to a geologist or a volcanologist. It makes sense. This begins to trigger other natural disasters that then begin to happen in unison. Okay? Let me reread number 8. "And the second angel sounded, and as it were a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea, and the third part of the sea became blood, and the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died, and the third part of the ships were destroyed." So not all the ships on the planet were destroyed. It only affected a particular part of the earth. 1/3 of it. And if we study the Earth's meteor history of impacts, we might even find out what that 1/3 part of our planet is. Because everything comes back, everything is cyclical. Chicxulub, Mexico, that meteor that destroyed the dinosaurs, was that 1/3 of the Earth? Was it 2/5? See, this can be measured. Did we have another impact there before Chicxulub? Because everything happens in cycles. And that's how we can measure what part of the earth, 1/3 of it, has been smitten. Because if it was smitten then, it'll happen again. Because the things come around, right? Nothing is new under the sun. All has happened before. Okay. Number 10 goes then by saying, "And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, and it fell upon the third part of the rivers and upon the fountains of waters." Okay. The third part of the rivers and the fountains of waters. This must have been a real big asteroid. Because a meteor is smaller than an asteroid. And asteroids are not burning. They only begin to burn when they enter an atmosphere. We have an atmosphere. Upon entering at a particular fucking thousand miles an hour speed, they're gonna burn, and it's gonna look like a big star burning in the heavens as it burns through our atmosphere. And it's gonna fall on land. The fountains of the earth is making reference to our fall. The Cascades, like Niagara Fall, the dam. These are the fountains of the earth. So it's making reference to the river because remember, it is these canyons, I guess you call them, like Canada, right? In Africa, we have many of them. Many of them. They create our rivers. So this is going to fall where most of our natural resources of water, like the dams that are created, or the cascades of water, like Niagara Falls or Sioux Falls, these are our fountains of water. So this is going to fall where there's many of these fountains of water, which is in Africa and in the northern tundra and Russia. So this gives us a clue to where this second meteor or asteroid is going to hit. And NASA has discovered an asteroid called Apophis that's supposed to hit the Earth in 2029. And they are sure that it can really brush us and really cause some tremendous weather patterns destruction. This is in NASA. It's called Apophis. And it's about 6 miles wide in diameter. And it's an empty rock. But once it enters our atmosphere, it will burn like a star. And that feels, you gotta take a fucking minute for that. Let that sink in. Let it sink in. Well, I like this spliff. Mm-hmm. It's deep. It's deep. Guys, make sure you donate now. Make sure. This is class now, but make sure you donate now. And we can keep it coming. We'll keep it going. Texas weed. I like it. I like it. It's nice, it's smooth, gives me a little appetite. I'll go to the gym because in the hotel we got gym and we got pool. I just haven't explored any of that yet. I've been so busy, working on this bag and doing, my work. 1 minute. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we know that that's 1/3. Then we go to verse 11. And the name of the star is called Wormwood. And the third part of the waters became wormwood. And many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. And the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten, and the third part of the moon was smitten, and the third part of the stars, so as the third part of them was darkened. And the day shone not for a third part of it, and the night the same. So in the daytime, we only saw 1/3 of the light of the sun, and at nighttime, only 1/3 of the night. Something broke our view and created a 1/3 perspective. with 1/3 afternoon, 1/3 morning, 1/3 light, 1/3 night, 1/3 of the moon is seen, and 1/3 of the sun is. Because I don't think nothing smit the sun. No, it was the moon that got smitten. And because the moon and the earth rotate at a hedonic movement, if you break a part of the moon, then we're going to see a third of it or a 1/4 of it. So it is the moon that struck. And now it's giving us a 1/3 ocular view of the heavens, of the sun in its rotation, and night. And the stars are going to be seen only 1/3 of it. Does it make sense? Talk to a astrophysicist mathematician. He'll tell you. And so it's not the earth that's going to be sick. Our moon is going to be smitten. And 1/3 of it will break off. And we're going to have 1/3 blockage to the sun, 1/3 blockage to space, 1/3. That's what that is. And it gets better. It gets better. See, they keep on. They keep on. I gotta pay my hotel bill. Damn. So I gotta go. I have to come back. I have to come back. Damn.